Got it.
Hello, is it streaming? It shows it's streaming.
Meeting is
Hello.
now streaming.
Yes, this is Lada from AstroLada.com, and my guest today is Sidereal Astrology, Sidereal and Babylonian astrologer Krasi Atasio, who is here with the ancient way of looking at the stars for August 2024. Krasi, why did you say in the title that serious times are approaching? What is coming?
Interest times, Wada. Hello, everyone. Well, there will be almost exact aspects between Mars and Venus on the sky, also between Jupiter and Saturn. And this is not enough. It is more interesting that these particular aspects are happening on the most potent axis in the horoscope. And this is the axis which is forming the cross, which is forming the cross known to any culture, any religion, any philosophy, because the cross is not only about the Christian cross. The cross is the equinoxes and the solstices. The cross is the four archangels. The cross is for animals. The cross is forever. We can talk about the cross. So we have from the very beginning of August, Venus is entering sidereal Leo. Leo is one of these signs in the cross of the four royal stars, Regulus, Antares, Aldebaran, and Fomalhaut. And Venus is entering Leo. And while she will be in Leo, she will be receiving interesting aspects, both from the opposition of Saturn, sidereal, who right now is in Aquarius, sidereal Aquarius, I mean. And also Venus will receive almost exact square from Mars all the time during the month of August, almost until the very end of August, they will have very active square. And also even in September, this square is moving on to the next signs. They keep on being in a square, you know. And as we know, we inform, people on your channel, on 18th of June also, Uranus entered Taurus and Jupiter is in Taurus, so it's a big stellium in sidereal Taurus, the sign of money. This is the natural second house of the zodiac. This is the sign where you have the celestial Taurus, the bull, very, very powerful, part of the very same, what we said, the very same cross of the royal stars. So it is very, very potent situation on the sky. And while Venus and Mars and Uranus are forming the square, in the very same moment, Saturn and Jupiter are forming a square. So we had last month
And
interesting,
Mars. And
and
Mars.
Mars, and Mars, and
Saturn,
Mars.
Mars conjunct Jupiter square Mars.
Exactly. So this is the thing. If last month we were a little bit more, well, uh, maybe feeling a little bit easier because we had many sextiles. Now these sextiles would turn into squares, and it becomes a little bit more tense. But Wada, this is very interesting thing, which I recently read from the Master Being Sadun. I want to share it with you and your people. It's very interesting. Master Ben Sadun was asked about the horoscope of Christ. And I think Boyan Boev, one of his students, who was also a student of Rudolf Steiner, and he asked him, he said, how about the horoscope of Jesus? He is so perfect. Maybe he has only trines. And he said, no, he has only squares. And he said, the squares are more potent than the trines and really, really work towards your evolution. Very powerful aspects. So this
It's very hard, but Jesus' life was super tough. First of all, he was
story, I know. I didn't want to remind you of that.
well said, Krasi. So it's a month of spiritual evolution, everyone. And
Yes, it's very potent, Wada. It will be interesting. August will be
challenging, but very important for some
very
important
important.
decisions. I guess relationships will be more tense with everyone.
Exactly.
You know,
Very emotional. And what we spoke with you before the recording, we were exactly this, the emotions, and there will be some extreme, some like people will be very extremely emotional, like to a degree. You have Venus square Mars, opposition Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus participate. It's a big story on the sky. This is, of course, having very, very strong impact on markets always, because markets are results of our emotional responses. So this will be very strong, like very volatile. Expect very volatile. And also, when you have this almost exact Jupiter-Saturn square, and we know when these two rulers, Jupiter and Saturn, are in relationship, especially when relationship is good, the Asians say what? The person will have a lot of property. The person will be wealthy. When this is conjunction, they say this is a royal conjunction of wealth, of achievement. So when they're in a square, I believe you will see
the
fall
opposite.
in the property business, we will see fall in this balloon, which exists everywhere on Earth, because now it's a square. So it will be very interesting. Volatile times in everything, in property, real estate prices, in markets. So in this regard, it will be very intense, I believe, in August. And
Well,
Uranus,
that's only the first square. The second square, which is when both are retrograde, is in December 24th. So December won't be easy either in January. And then there is a third square between them. So the next 10 months, it's looking like something's tanking, going down, and might be the economy, might be, as you said. Well, that would be good if the property bubble bursts as well. But
Very, very possibly, because the trine always is, and now this is in Taurus, about money, and it is the earth sign, so it has to be related to this. And when there is a trine, it is totally acting in the other direction. It would be interesting, and it is tense, but it wouldn't be as difficult and challenging as the aspects of the horoscope of Jesus Christ, because Venus and Jupiter are participating. And it is known exactly this, when benevolent planet is watching towards the aspect, the evil will be reversed, say, some old text. So I think it will not be, like you said, remember when we were talking, you said, tense situation, but something is saving all the time. Now
yeah.
also, Jupiter, Venus. So there will be this, if you had only malefic planets, would have been very, very, very hard. But Venus in Leo is not so weak. In the Babylonian, the tablets, you see Venus with the lion as a morning star. Okay, now she's an evening star, but still, the lion is not is an animal which she loves, which is very, very dear to Venus. I noticed, and I used to make even talismans Venus when she was in Leo. Very, very good. Of course, not now, because she receives opposition from Saturn, but when she's ideally placed in Leo, Venus is very good and has powers and has dignities, I'm sure. Therefore, we should not underestimate the power of Venus in Leo. Yes, there will be tension, but she will be helping things not to get out of control. Yeah. And so these are the main things. She's changing sign just now on the 1st of August. She'll be all month in Leo. And then this, like I said, this square continues, Mars, Venus, till September. So a time of extreme emotions. Everyone, absolutely, this is valid for everyone in personal sense, to be more careful, more romantic sense, more more patient, maybe more diplomatic, because it will be very emotional situation. And Venus, the fiery Venus in Leo, imagine.
And you're saying that this tension very likely will affect markets and financially. Can I add something from tropical perspective? All those squares are happening from signs like mutable signs like Gemini and Pisces. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that there might be conflict between local people, Gemini, and foreigners or immigrants, Pisces as well. Looking from a tropical perspective, that I see tensions starting, and not just now for the next 10 months, but August really escalating. Locals, Gemini versus refugees or such kind of stuff, foreigners and so on. So that's,
Oh yeah,
I'm just giving a tropical astrology perspective to Krasi, which you made
yeah.
so in.
Makes sense the way you describe it with the involvement of Pisces, the 12th house of the zodiac makes perfect sense. Yeah. Well, this is more or less the most interesting. Then also Mars in Taurus, and we saw what happened, and we were speaking about this. Mars was in Algol with Jupiter, with Uranus. Jupiter was a bit further, but okay, Mars with Uranus, right ahead of somebody was about to fall, but Jupiter saved him, Wada. Jupiter saved him, and the fact that Algol was not invisible at the moment of this event. You know, this is another thing which saved him because in his horoscope, I mean, Donald Trump's horoscope, on the midheaven, he has Algol, and Algol is invisible, evil Algol. So what saved his life is that Algol did not repeat himself, but herself, by being invisible. And I think he's not out of danger, not completely out of danger. With his square, he, but Venus is on entering his ascendant. So better, a bit better timing, but still not completely out of tension, danger, betrayals will happen all the time until September. But this is another story. We eventually will make another conversation about the horoscopes of the candidates. So
Yes.
yeah, so
Let's
let's
say
not go and yeah.
who the GNC puts as a candidate. They're saying Kamala, but you're saying a horoscope. It doesn't look like a presidential horoscope, so there might be someone else that comes up. So let's do it after that.
And we always have the question mark about the time of birth. With Donald Trump, we know it's correct. It's proven, it's correct. But with the others, you never know if this is the exact time of birth. So this is always a little bit a question. But anyway, when I was looking at her horoscope, she doesn't have royal stars. I'm not sure if she, but we will see.
They might come up with now in August with a stronger candidate, so we'll see what. But politics, I hate talking about politics.
Me too. Very, very, very. Oh, very, very. This is
I feel
what I don't.
dirty every time I talk about politics.
I know, I know. Okay. So we can start if you want with the
Yeah.
12 ascendants.
And by the way, if anyone would like a personal reading with Krasi, she has a promo for our viewers again. I'll put it in the description below. Just follow the link, contact her. She's a wonderful, positive astrologer, and she uses sidereal, ancient Babylonian techniques.
Thank you, Wada. Saying this positive, something I clarified in my mind yesterday. You know what? Since this question about the free will, how far are we with our free will? You know what I think yesterday was it came very clear to my mind. When you look at the planets in your chart, and they have this low vibration manifestation and they have this high vibration. Let's say, take Mars as a very easy example. Mars can be very negative, can bring alcoholism, can bring drugs, can bring violence, can bring aggression. But if you know your chart and you opt for the higher vibration of Mars, then you will become like a warrior, disciplined warrior of the truth, of dignity, very much controlling your anger, very much controlling your emotions. So I think our free will, Wada, is exactly there. Which vibration of the planets you choose in your chart? I say this because you said I'm positive. This is why I'm positive, because when you explain to people the nature of their planet, they can know when they opt which vibration they follow of their planets. Yeah. Okay, now the 12 ascendants. As usual, we do from the two perspectives, sidereal and tropical. When we start with ascendant Aries, if you don't know your time of birth, you can apply the placement of your moon. We can derive the horoscope also from your moon. So people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, or for the tropical astrology, this is Taurus or moon in Taurus. Now for you, what is happening? Your ascendant ruler, Mars, is on your second house. Mars will be forming square with Venus. This is interesting. He receives a square from Saturn. Quite interesting. T square on the sky with you. Well, this is a little bit tense aspect, but you can benefit from this by really using the good energies of Mars, especially when he's with Uranus, with Jupiter. Probably this will be very emotional for you, but you can use this to organize your finances, your business, because when Saturn is squaring, people become very practical. You can use this drive towards your second house to organize your business, to have very organized approach to money, to finances, also to creative knowledge, because Venus from your fifth house is also involved, like creativity, talented work, working on your courage, because Venus will be passing through the star Regulus, the heart of the lion, like working on your courage to discipline yourself, to organize your finances. Financially, this is not necessarily bad, but you may need to apply really good discipline, organization. And so you may use this moment also to improve relationships with family roots, with family members. This can also be interesting, but mainly for creativity, for talented work, design, and so, and be a little bit more patient with, in romantic sense, with people that you love. Also, when you negotiate in business, also be very diplomatic. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Gemini. Now for you, interesting for you really, because you have Mars on the ascendant also in August, with Jupiter, with Uranus. Big thing is happening. Also, Saturn is squaring from the 10th house, opposing Venus. Interesting indeed, T square involving your work, involving your home. I think with the placement of Venus, you will find peace in your home. This is with parents at home. This is like your place of harmony. With Mars, Jupiter, Uranus on your ascendant, you can really make a lot for yourself in terms of new, very innovative, very new ideas, projects for yourself. This particular stellium on your ascendant is certainly bringing many new things, like new plans, new career interests. Of course, Saturn is also squaring to bring changes in your current work position. There you may have a little bit of disharmony, so be a little bit careful. You're certainly experiencing changes or at least modification in your career place. So make sure that you are, a bit diplomatic, careful, and use this energy for something new and good for yourself, like new ideas, which will serve you well, new knowledge, new approach to work, new approach to your projects, to your talents and everything. And now let's look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Cancer. For you, these particular aspects, which we mentioned, very important aspects, are taking place on axis of knowledge, first of all, because Saturn is on your ninth house. He is already working towards this direction. He maybe brought changes in your knowledge, in your media work, studies, and so, and he will make opposition to Venus in your third house, exactly, very benevolent for studies, for knowledge, to improve relationships with brothers and sisters, to travel maybe. Also, the placement of Mars is on your 12th house. Well, be a little bit careful with hidden enemies, like in sense what? Be diplomatic, be careful, and also be more responsible for your health. But in general, this aspect of Uranus, Mars, Jupiter in your 12th house is long-lasting aspect, especially the one of Uranus and Jupiter in your 12th house. And this is aspect which shows that you may have this very good desire to help others, to go on a pilgrimage, travel tour, to spend time on your own in the temple, to work on your awakening spirituality. This will help you understand better health, work better on your own health, and yes, have this mission to help others. In general, it is very spiritual placement of this T-square in your horoscope, and very much towards education, knowledge. You probably would choose to study something else or to enrich your knowledge with some new information or studies and so. And now let's look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Leo. For you, well, this particular Mars, Uranus, Jupiter placement is on your 11th house. This is fine. Maybe this will give you very original new friendships, and the old friendships will go, or the which are not good for you, which are not working well for you. Like you will see the true faces of people, and many new people, new interesting connections, contacts you will come in your life. This also can be benevolent for your finances, new projects, new ideas, very innovative, very creative. Saturn on your 8th house in Aquarius. Well, he is there until late December 2025, and he can work towards your, finances, but how exactly depends on your own Saturn. But he can solve cases related to finances via unexpected sources, for example, or he can give you some developments there, especially now when Venus is also entering Leo. So financially, you may have interesting results, unexpected also. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. Now for you, Venus is entering your ascendant in August, to stay there in August. This is very good blessing for you. She will soften the energies of the Saturn opposition of Mars, Uranus on your 10th house. So this is blessing. She can help you bring blessing on yourself, on your well-being, on your relationships. She can soften the energies in your career place, which now is very intense because probably many new things are happening now. And probably Uranus, Mars, Jupiter, when they meet on your 10th house, many new things will happen in your career place, which already happening, either modification of the current situation or something new. And Venus is softening this, so I like it. For people who have ascendant Leo, I see this like aspect like a true blessing. Also personally for you, you may feel better, you may feel more beautiful, more joyful. So this is good. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo. And if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Libra. For you also the time is interesting because you have lunar nodes right on your ascendant descendant placements. Mars, Uranus, Jupiter trine your ascendant to give you like very stable spiritual awakening, growth, studies, knowledge. Maybe this will give big change in your interests. Maybe suddenly you say, I want now to study astrology. I want to follow new study, new university education. I want to travel. I want to discover totally new philosophies. Big changes from this will come for you. This is happening with the help of the two lunar nodes on your ascendant descendant, because they're like portals for change. In the meantime, Venus on your 12th house, opposed by Saturn, fine for your health. She may bring some help when it comes to, disputes at your routine, at your work. So Venus can be helpful. So you have Saturn until late December 2025 on your 6th house, and Venus will bring some softening energy because Saturn is already changing your routine, relationship with people, bringing some lessons with people who surround you, who work with you, who work for you, and so. Now we look at people who have sidereal Libra ascendant or moon in Libra. And if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio. Now for you, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus are meeting on your 8th house. This is valid also for August, squaring Venus, Mercury on your 11th house and squaring Saturn on your 5th. Now, you see, this is Venus rules you. She is your ascendant. She describes you, your personality, because the ascendant that you have is Libra, and she's squared by Saturn, a little bit afflicted by Mars. So, this is this. On one hand, Venus in the 11th house is good because this is the house of the good spirit. So she can bring blessing on your finances. On the other hand, because of the aspects she receives, you may need to be a little bit more careful in your romantic life, with partnerships. Also, she can bring blessing on finances, but not without applying discipline, some good organization in your work, in your administration. But she can be helpful in your social circle, in your friendships. She can bring you good people, good connections with people. She can help your muse, your talented work, and so. But in order really to benefit from this aspect in your 11th house, to benefit from good financial results, you need to be very disciplined, very organized in your work, and a little bit careful in your romantic life. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Sagittarius. But for you, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus are in Taurus and form opposition to your ascendant. Mars is your ruler. He is fallen in Taurus. This brings a little bit disharmony in your romantic life. Be careful there, be more patient. When you see tension there, this is temporary situation. Make sure that you calm things down, that you're patient, that you're loving. Also, Saturn is squaring, so this is valid for your home, for your career. Also, tension a little bit. Venus is helping, certainly. She brings peace, but still, this is a T-square, so you may need to be careful at home, career, relationship, partnerships with people, agreements. But when you place the right intention, the right behavior, you will be fine. When you know, this is why we are saying all this. And now people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Capricorn. For you, Jupiter is your ascendant ruler. He is already in your 6th house with Mars, with Uranus. 6th house is the house about your routine, about health, about people that work for you, with you, your routine environment, your job. There, they make very innovative new things, new changes, new people. In terms of health, also changes like new information, new approach to health also is possible. This aspect to give you. Venus is in your 9th house, opposed by Saturn. She can give blessing on studies, travel, media work. Also, because Saturn is very powerful in Aquarius, be a little bit responsible for your health and make sure that you're very diplomatic and that you, avoid risky situations like disputes, conflicts, and so on. And now we look at people who have sidereal Capricorn ascendant or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aquarius. Saturn is your ascendant ruler, and he is already for more than 1 year in your 2nd house. Aquarius, he now will receive opposition from Venus and square Uranus, Mars, Jupiter, T-square, quite potent, happening on axis of finances for you, but also lucky finances, but also because of the 5th house and also creative activities. So you can benefit from the, good energy of this, which will be exactly drive to creativity, finances made by own ideas, creative projects, creative approach to anything. This particular three planets conjunction in your fifth house can be very productive also when it comes to design work, talented work, new knowledge, and certainly you will have changes there in this area of your life. Of course, be a little bit, when you make financial decisions, make sure that you're a little bit careful, not impulsive, and so. But Venus there is, yes, I think her aspect from your eighth house is helpful. But still, it's quite interesting. T-square involving finances, involving creativity. Make sure that you make decisions. That when you make decisions, you're very careful, not very impulsive. And now we look at people with sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Pisces. Now Saturn is on your ascendant. He will be there until late December of 2025. And he already brought you, I'm sure, many changes in many, almost every area of your life. He influences also your romantic life. Now Venus is entering Leo, and she will be helpful there. She'll bring blessing on your romantic life, on your agreements, on your other relationships. She would receive square from Uranus, Mars, Jupiter on your fourth house. Be a little bit careful and kind with parents. Career-wise also, make sure that you're careful and diplomatic, because the planet which rules your 10th house is in the fourth and receives square from Saturn. So career-wise, this is not very easy timing, but when you're diplomatic, when you're careful, I'm certain that you'll be okay. But you may need to be a little bit careful, like diplomatic approach intuitively, superiors, and so. And also, Venus is helping, I believe, in your romantic life. She'll bring some fresh air. And now we look at Pisces, ascendant or moon in Pisces, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aries. Jupiter is ruling you. He is in your third house with Mars, with Uranus. Third house changes. It means this may change relationship with brothers and sisters. You can benefit from this if there are things you may need to solve with them. This can bring you knowledge, new media work, new approach to negotiation, to travel, to studies, to philosophy. All this is very good. This receives aspect from Saturn from your 12th house. Of course, make sure that if you want to benefit the most from this triple conjunction, this stellium in Taurus, you're very organized, very, very structured, disciplined, because this is what Saturn is all about. Saturn was maybe challenging a little bit your health, but now Venus enters, and because he loves Venus, you may have the help of Venus. She can soften things. Also, she can soften things in your routine, in your everyday work. Health-wise, she can be helpful for you. And so, be a little bit careful when you travel, when you negotiate, when you do media work, when you teach others, when you choose education. This is, and be responsible for your health. But this is valid in general until late December 2025, simply because Saturn is in your 12th house. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is briefly to give you an idea about the 12 ascendants in month of August.
Thank you very much, Krasi, for being so quick and to the point, giving us the perspective of sidereal astrology.
Thank you, Wada.
Thank you again. If anyone wants to contact Krasi, I have put the link below in the description. She has a special promotion for our viewers. And have a successful August, let's say.
Thank you. All the best to everyone.